Good evening, everyone. It is 6:01 p.m. on September 9th of 2025, and time to call to order this meeting of the City of Gallatin Council Committee. We will start with the roll call this evening. Ms. Kittrell.
Vice Mayor Hayes.
Present.
Councilman Alexander is absent. Councilman Carter.
Present.
Councilman Fan.
Here.
Councilman Fennell is absent. Councilman Jones.
Here.
And Councilman Juvance. Mayor, we do have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Tonight you have the minutes from the August 26th, 2025 Council Committee meeting for your consideration for approval.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilman Jones.
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Hayes. Any corrections, any additions, any subtractions? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes from August 26, 2025, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. All right, we're going to move to public recognition. Minutes are approved. Public recognition, this is the time of the meeting that you can speak to an item. It doesn't have to be on the agenda. It can be on the agenda or off of the agenda because this is a work session, so all public comments at the beginning of the meeting. You'll have 5 minutes to speak. We ask that you give your name and your address for the record. And with that, public recognition is now open, and you may come forward to the podium if you wish to speak.
Good evening, council members. My name is Sean Cook. I'm the pastor at Key Stewart United Methodist Church. I come here tonight as a shepherd of God's people and as a spiritual caregiver for this city. I want to be clear that Key Stewart Church and I are opposed reducing the legal distance between liquor stores and our churches and schools. This is not a zoning issue for us. It is a community issue of justice. Research shows that liquor stores are 2 to 4 times more common in poor neighborhoods, and those communities suffer the most with higher crimes, more addiction, more broken families. The CDC confirms that when liquor stores move closer, we see more violence, more underage drinking, and more hospitalizations. Reducing the distance from a mile to a half mile doubles the weight on the very people already carrying the heaviest burdens. As the good book says, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves and defend the rights of the poor and the needy. This is my duty here tonight as pastor, and I urge you to do the same as leaders. If the requirement must change, then let us change so that liquor stores are not in our neighborhoods at all. And if I was at church, I would say, somebody say amen. But especially not near our churches or our schools or our poor communities. Let Gallatin be known not for profiting off of the pain of the poor, but for lifting its people to hope and health. And with that, thank you, Mayor and council members, for giving me this time to address this issue.
Thank you, Pastor. Anyone else wishing to speak tonight under public recognition? Okay, seeing no one, I'll declare public recognition closed. And Pastor, so you don't feel compelled to stick around for the rest of the meeting, we are not discussing that tonight, but we will be again in the coming week. So I just didn't want you to hang out if you didn't want to. All right. We'll now move to Mayor's comments, and I'm going to ask Miss Kathy Taylor and Miss Judy Jones to join me at the podium for the presentation of a proclamation, please. And I didn't get the friend's name. No.
Spain.
Spain. Might guess what we are issuing a proclamation to honor this evening by our special guest, Spain, correct?
Spain.
Yes, I knew Miss Taylor's name, and I know Miss Jones, of course. So it's National Service Dog Month, and to recognize that, we are doing this proclamation this evening. I'm going to read this, and then we'll welcome Miss Taylor to say a few words. And so this says, whereas we believe in the joyful, transformative power of the human canine bond, inclusivity of all citizens, and whereas in the United States, 70 million adults have a disability, and only 16,000 service dogs from accredited training programs exist nationwide, and the need is growing. And whereas Canine Companions created the service dog for people with physical disabilities 50 years ago in 1975, creating a new kind of support for disability. And whereas Canine Companions and other nonprofit service dog organizations enhance the lives of people with disabilities by providing expertly trained service dogs and ongoing support to ensure quality partnerships free of charge. And whereas trained service dogs empower people with disabilities to lead life with greater independence by providing best-in-class training, ongoing follow-up services, and a deeply committed community of support. And whereas National Service Dog Month aims to educate our community about the benefits of service dogs and the laws protecting their handlers, and whereas the City of Gallatin, Tennessee continues to work toward becoming a community in which all citizens and their trained service dogs are embraced, I, Paige Brown, Mayor of the City of Gallatin, do hereby proclaim that September is National Service Dog Month in recognition of service dogs and the adults and children with disabilities in our community. I encourage all citizens to celebrate service dogs and to be respectful of the rights to safe access in our community afforded to the adults, children, and veterans who lead more independent lives because of their assistance. So I'm going to present this to you all, but maybe I should be presenting it to Spain, and then I would welcome you, Ms. Taylor, to say a few
I'll let
words.
Judy say a few.
But certainly, thank you so much for what you all do to spread the information about your program and the importance of service dogs. So I will turn it to you all.
Thank you, Judy.
Well, the only thing I would say is that I've had dogs in my life forever. I grew up out in the country, and every dog had a job, and I learned how smart and how trustworthy they are. And as I got older, I learned so many other things that they could do besides hunt and guard and herd, you know. And so I've been a supporter of Canine Companions for Independence for close to 30 years, and really believe in what they're doing and what other nonprofits are doing to train dogs and provide them for individuals with disabilities. It's probably one of my passions. So, and I'll let Kathy talk about her own experience.
Thank you, Judy. Hi, my name is Kathy Taylor, and I moved here to the great state of Tennessee about 7 years ago, came from northern Indiana. I was a system design engineer, software engineer, and traveled. Oops.
Microphone, just so everyone can hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. I traveled, my job was 50 states and 2 countries. So I was on the road most of the time. I did major platforms for their networks, voice and data. With a dog beside me for 18 years, this is my second one that was furnished to me. These dogs are $60,000, but I would not have been able to done my career without having one of these dogs beside me. A lot has changed in the last 18 years. When I first started, there weren't very many service dogs. Now we're starting to see more and more. So thank you for the city for recognizing the work that these dogs do.
Our pleasure.
Spain is her ears, by the way. I don't think you explained.
Yeah. I'm deaf. I read lips. So I have 2 cochlear implants. So the dog alerts me to all the sounds I no longer hear. There's about 45 sounds that the dog will physically touch me. I do sign language to the dog. The dog, I showed Judy outside. I said, take this paper. I'll drop it. She'll pretend that it's my credit card or hotel key, and she will physically alert me and tell me, you dropped that. So that's just one. Sirens, emergency vehicles. If she hears one, she'll come up and hit my shoulder. I sign to her, okay. She will lay down, but now I'm more alert to there's an emergency vehicle someplace. So I'm more alert as a driver then. So, but thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you to the
Thank you,
city.
ladies.
Okay.
Absolutely. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Always. Thank you, ladies, but particularly Ms. Taylor, thank you for sharing your story. Just a few other things I want you all to be aware of that are coming up this week. Got my list everywhere. Coming up on September 11th, it's an important day, as it always is each year, and that morning at 9 a.m., our Gallatin Fire Department will be doing their annual 9/11 memorial service. It's always a beautiful service. I would certainly encourage people who have not attended in the past to please make the effort to be up here that morning and watch the work that they do each day to recognize those affected by 9/11. At 11 a.m. on that same day, Alexander Funeral Home is doing their Field of Flags, followed by the luncheon honoring our first responders. So they also do a service at Alexander Funeral Home. It's also a beautiful service. They have something special that they haven't done before planned this year, and so I think it'd be worthwhile to check out their program too. And then there is also the Heroes Appreciation Lunch that's happening at the Gallatin Center for Rehabilitation and Healing from 11:30 to 1 on that day. Coming up on Monday night is the business district meeting. The CBID discussion is going to be happening at the Palace Theater. That's at 6 p.m. and anyone is welcome to attend. And I would welcome you to do that. And then finally, Market in the Park is happening this Friday and Saturday. It opens Friday evening and closes on Saturday. And that concludes the mayor's comments. Well, let me mention a couple other things. The Liberty Creek High School Career Fair, 11 to 1:15 on the 12th. That's Friday of this week. And then Saturday is the airport breakfast at the Music City Executive Airport. That happens from 8 until 10. I don't know if this is the last one of the season or if there's another one, but I would certainly encourage you to attend that if you would like to. And there's also a WWP Carry Forward 5K Memorial Walk happening at the Civic Center at 8:15 on that morning. Also have a person here that wanted to say something under public comment. And so with no objection, I'm going to welcome her forward to do that, council members. I know we've already closed it, but I just saw her out there and I thought, I bet she wasn't here when I did that because we moved fast.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much, Councilwoman. I'm Becky McGurra. I'm President and CEO of Nashville PBS. And I just wanted to thank you all for your support and being part of our Nashville PBS family. This is our 63rd birthday tomorrow, actually, officially. And we have a lot of programming this week. But I just wanted to comment that you've been a very important part of our Tennessee Crossroads series. I believe we've had 12 different stories come out of Gallatin and Sumner County. We hope to continue to expand that. Ketch Secor is the new host from Old Crow Medicine Show. He's the new host. It was a very difficult time for us when we lost Joe Elmore a year ago, longtime host of Tennessee Crossroads, now in its 39th season. And so we welcome your ideas for Crossroads, for Volunteer Gardener. Volunteer Gardener's also had a tremendous number of segments come from this region, and I believe one of our featured segments she continues to do your flowers, right, and gardening. So, and Mayor, I hope to capture a statement from you tonight, just a welcome for our birthday that we can do that tonight. So thank you. I just came really to thank you, to bring our magazines. This is a digital magazine that's online, free and open to the public. And then we mail out a certain number of these, so I brought enough that we can share around. So thank you all. Just so grateful to be here and so grateful for all your service.
Thank you so much for what you all do. I had a good friend whose mother passed away last week, and her obituary featured that her collection had been on Tennessee Crossroads because that was something that she was very, very proud of, and people knew her by. And then you spoke of the person here, our Gallatin Flower Lady has done a lot of segments with the Volunteer Gardener. So I think it's certainly kind of been a part of my whole television life in this area. I even did some work for you back in the day. But I'm going to invite the council immediately after the meeting to record a video saying happy birthday to Nashville PBS. And I would love the department heads to join us as well if you're willing. So with that, thank you so much. Public recognition again closed. And we'll move on now to the agenda. Item 1 is Ordinance 02509-47. It's an ordinance of the City of Gallatin approving an amended preliminary master development plan for 1520 Hunt Club Boulevard. It's a 1-acre lot located south of Nashville Pike, west of Hunt Club Boulevard, authorizing the revision to be indicated on the official zoning outlets, repealing conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. Brian Rose, our city planner, is recognized.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We do have a PowerPoint. It should be loaded. So Jeff, if you can get that pulled up, that'd be great. Hopefully. While that's coming up. Oh.
No signal.
So this is a request to approve an amended PMDP at 1520 Hunt Club Boulevard on a 1-acre plus or minus 1-acre lot located south of Nashville Pike and west of Hunt Club Boulevard. The property is zoned MU, mixed use, and the proposed use of the property is 14 live-work units. Previous approvals on this property include the original PMDP for the overall Hunt Club development back in 2001. The subject property was subdivided back in May of 2021, creating this 1-acre lot. And then the Planning Commission approved an FMDP for an office development on May 23rd, 2022. Since then, okay, no problem. I guess we're not getting a PowerPoint tonight. Since then, we have been in discussions with the applicant, who is essentially proposing these 14 live-work units as amended PMDP uses. Possible uses that could be included in those live-work, the work portion would include or could include business and communication services, financial, consulting and administrative, medical service, and various residential uses as part of that. The intent is that each of the townhomes would provide flex office space for business owners to be able to operate within those units. The area was intended for office retail development, and this proposed PMDP amendment would be heavily appearing as residential. The plan does not determine what the associated non-residential uses would be specifically, but the most likely case is some of the typical small office uses as previously described. It's this area as general urban community character area, which has a recommended density of 5 to 15 dwelling units per acre. The MU zoning district allows 15 units per acre. And this proposed density is 14 units per acre, the property being exactly 1 acre, and 14 units. So while this plan is deviating from the approved master plan, it does not conflict with the goals and intent of the comprehensive plan, the character area plan. Some of the details, buffer yards would be provided at a type 10 and type 12 / type 20 buffer yard. Parking would be accommodated by 2-car garages, and then also on site there are 10 additional parking spaces in the rear. Conceptual elevations have been provided. Of course, you'll have them on your screens hopefully, or in your packets. I've also attached copies of previous approvals in the packet as well, so you'll be able to see those images hopefully there. Planning Commission did vote that this is a major amendment, and that's the reason why it's here for the PMDP amendment. Sent it on to the council for consideration, and that vote was a 7-0 recommendation for approval by the council. And I'll turn it back to you. I believe the applicant should hopefully be here to be able to speak to their proposal.
Questions for, or you want to have it represented from the,
I'll take questions, or
you guys want, having questions for Mr. Rose? Or you want to have a representative from the project forward? Okay, you can invite the representative forward.
anybody here for,
If there's anyone here.
may not be here. I know Josh King has been their representative.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen him, that's why I
So I
forgot
didn't
that.
see him this evening, but wasn't sure if there was anyone else.
Okay. So he's not here this evening, but will come in the future if we need him. So, Mr. Rose is your person to answer questions.
Be happy to answer any questions for you.
What did you say? You said could be residential use too? Is that what you said?
So the proposed uses would be live, work. So there would be mostly actually a residential component to these units. And then within each of the units, there would be some designated areas that would be available for a workspace. It's a bit of a stretch when it comes to calling it mixed use. I can't necessarily regulate what's happening on the inside of a residential unit, but I would assume that if they're designating it, that they're hopefully using it that way.
So technically, they could all be residential if they wanted to be, right?
That's a possibility, and I don't know how that, again, would be seen or known, other than if someone is making a sign out front showing that they would be doing
I mean, I'd like to see us defer it until the applicant's here, if that's okay with everybody.
Motion by Vice Mayor Hayes to defer. I think that's a motion. Is that okay since he seconded it? Okay, second by Councilman Van. Any questions on deferral?
I'm okay with deferral. I keep my question for next time.
Okay, all in favor of deferring, please say aye. To the
Aye.
next work session? Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the expectation? Okay. Opposed, say no. Okay, it's unanimously moved to the next work session. Moving on to item 2 is ordinance 02509-48. It's an ordinance rezoning .66 acres from the CS Commercial Services District to the MRO Multiple Office Residential District with a preliminary master development plan for Habitat for Humanity Examiner Court Residential Community located south of Tulip Poplar Drive, west of Sumner Hall Drive, and you know the rest of it. And Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This, again, is a request to rezone a .66 acre parcel from the CS Commercial Services District to the MRO Multiple Residential and Office District with a preliminary master development plan for 6 dwelling units in a court-style development located south of Tulip Poplar Road, or Tulip Poplar Drive, and west of Sumner Hall Drive. This property has no known prior applications that have been filed, and this plan indicates that construction for the project would begin in approximately 2026 and end in approximately 2027. Surrounding zoning includes both commercial services, CS district, and commercial general, CG district. The Habitat for Humanity Restore and Office are essentially across Sumner Hall Drive and in close proximity to this site, which is why they've chosen to work with this property. This proposal complies with the overall intent of Plan Gallatin. The type of development could serve as a model for future development of this nature. This also helps us with some of the goals that we are trying to accomplish with the new zoning ordinance by promoting the commercial and residential uses within close proximity to each other. The units meet the required area per unit requirement by providing 4,791.6 square feet of area for each unit, whereas only 3,000 square feet are required. The zoning ordinance provides that exceptions may be granted for specific lot layouts. So this would be an exception on lot layouts and setbacks with a preliminary master development plan per section 6.09.100 of the zoning ordinance. Buffer yards would be 10 feet and 12 feet. The 12-foot is just for the north side of the property. The applicant has provided a pattern book for architectural designs. The plans indicate a majority of the designs with cementitious siding for all sides. A condition of approval has been added for the applicant to add a brick water table to all units. This would still not comply with the 70% brick stone requirement on all facades, and for that purpose, the applicant is requesting approval of an alternative architectural plan with this request. And I know the applicant is here. Cal Gentry is representing the applicant, so he may also wish to make a presentation, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Questions for Mr. Rose, or go ahead and Mr. Johnson?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm excited by that. That look fantastic. But I think that's the solution of affordability, because we don't need to build everything at 5,000 square foot or 6,000 square foot. Some people don't need it, and it's better than townhouses. We're talking affordability there, so the pattern book, I like what I see. I don't think we need to add a cost by adding brick, and I don't think that will fit what they're trying to do. So I would like to make a motion to start to remove the bricks. The bricks, the 70% brick stone. We give alternate architecture for a lot of people, so I think we should do that here. That will reduce the cost. It's Habitat for Humanity. And again, if you look at the pattern book they give, I don't think we need any stone there. That doesn't. I don't think stone will fit what they try to do, so I would like to make a motion to remove that condition from the approval.
I'll second that.
Are you asking for even the brick water table to be removed from the conditions?
Yeah,
The only portion would be the very bottom portion of the home as brick?
If they stick to the book pattern they gave us, I don't think they need any stone on there. I really like what I see. I don't think the stone will make any difference on the architecture. I think what they gave us, if that's what you're going to build, I think we need to stick to that. So that's my motion to remove all the brick condition of approval.
What's your thoughts on that? I mean, we probably need to leave the brick on the bottom, don't you think? I mean,
Personally, I mean, I think it gives a good look having the brick
Yeah.
on the bottom, but again, it's your decision.
because didn't you just say a minute ago that they're asking not?
They are asking relief from the 70% brick requirement.
Which I don't have a problem with that,
This
but
would likely be, if you do a brick water table, maybe 10%.
10%,
Something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know that it's a massive requirement on them to put the brick on, but I think it does give a good look.
I think if we leave it like it is and they're asking for that, and we could just let it go with that, because they're asking for an exception for the 70% brick to use other materials, correct? Brick and stone?
Yes.
So more than likely, they're not going to use stone. They're going to use other materials like hardy board, you know, things like that. I'm sure they're not going to use siding, but they're going to
Yeah,
use hardy board.
it's mostly cementitious siding, so
Yeah.
hardy board.
Can we ask the applicant what he thinks about it?
Well, we have an motion and a second right now, so.
I would just like to say, before we vote, I'm with Councilman Juvent. I think with this project being a Habitat for Humanity project, that it was gonna make it more affordable for somebody that's trying to become a homeowner. And so I would be totally fine with them not having any brick, and I think this is a beautiful project that we have here.
I think the condition is, I think if you just, well, I'll leave the motion where it is.
Can we talk to the applicant?
Yeah.
Good evening, Council. Cal Gentry, Civil Land Company representing Habitat for Humanity. I do have Kate Ritchie, Executive Director, and Mitch Healy, our Board President, here with us for additional questions if you have any.
What's your thoughts on, what were y'all planning to do? I know y'all wanted to,
So we submitted, as you see in the packet, whether it was all cementitious siding. Planning Commission asked that we add the brick water table at the bottom. They felt from a aesthetic standpoint that they would prefer that. We agreed to that comment at Planning Commission, are willing to stand behind that agreement. But if you decide to pull that off, Ms. Kate did say that that would lower the price of the houses just by eliminating another trade. So we're just at the will of the council, what you guys would prefer.
What you put in a packet, your renderings, that's what that's going to look like.
That's what it would look like without the brick, yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's what you proposed initially, and I agree. We need to cut the cost. What on top of your head? What would be the cost difference to add the brick siding instead of just a ballpark?
I'm a dirt guy. I don't know what it would, Ms. Kate, if you have any idea what that might save on a per unit basis, she's much better at this than I am.
and we're talking about just a water table, right?
Thank you, Cal. Thank you, Council. He's a dirt guy. I can't say that I'm necessarily a construction person, but having worked in this industry for 5 years now, I would say I would estimate about $3,000 a house. So if I can save $18,000, I would like to save $18,000.
Didn't the planning commission pass this unanimously?
With the brick water table, or whatever they call that. Yeah.
Correct.
They're all slab houses, right? Yeah. Previous houses y'all's built, are they got brick around them, or are they all?
The current neighborhood in which we're building, only one house has brick, but all houses are hardy board, and these will be hardy board.
It holds up, I mean, hardy board holds up, it's brick, it's, yeah.
Do you know what's around the property and what the houses around the property look like?
You mean the other structures around us?
Yeah,
They
other
vary
structure.
from metal siding to brick. Yeah, it's a variety of
Yeah,
materials.
so that's not going to impact what's nearby. Yeah, I want to keep my motion on, I think. Let's say $3,000 per house, we're talking about, yeah, that's a lot of money. So I want to keep that going.
Okay, let's go on that motion. Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
No,
Okay, it passes 3-1, 4-1. Okay,
What was
about removing,
gonna
well,
remove the brick water table.
yeah, okay, it was to remove any requirements for any brick.
we're not adding anything to it. We're just, make sure I understand what he said.
We're taking away the brick.
Any requirements for any brick, including the water.
We keep it the way they presented it initially.
Okay, it passed. Even if you change your vote.
And my second question was for Brian. The free parking lot were in the street, and examine a court, because I saw in the packet there was a mention not to have parking lot in city easement. Are they in the city easement or not?
So we have enough parking on the site to provide 2 spaces per unit, and what you see on Examiner is overflow parking, guest parking. So our requirement is all inside the property. We're not putting any required parking in the right-of-way, which I think is what the comment was focused on.
All right, that's all my question. I think it's a great little pocket development, and I'm pretty excited to see how it's going to turn, because that should be a model for affordability. Like I say, some people want 600 square foot, some people want 1,600 square foot, some people want 5,000, but for the people who don't need 5,000 square foot, they're going to have this little house, their garden. Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you for bringing that to us. Motion to move to council.
Motion to move to council as amended, second. Any questions, any further questions, anyone? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance 02509-48 moves forward to council and as amended.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 3 is resolution R2509-56. Mr. Tuttle, city engineer.
Got an easy one for you tonight. Recommendation from Planning Commission to accept improvements for another phase of Kennesaw Farms. It's Phase 6, Section 3. It includes a portion of Peyton Lane and a portion of a new road, Caspian Way. Not a very big subdivision. I think there's probably only about a dozen lots on it.
Motion to send on to council.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Hayes, second by Councilman Juvance. Any questions, any discussion? All in favor of sending resolution R2509-56 forward, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Moves forward unanimously. Item 4 is resolution R2509-57. It's a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign a renewal services agreement between the city and NeoGov, and Chief Bandy is recognized.
Yes, again, like the mayor said, this is asking you to approve on the renewal services agreement between the City of Gallatin and NeoGov, which is what we use for Power DMS, which helps us with our training, our TALIA accreditation, which is where we serve subpoenas, is where we sign off on policy. We've had a system about 20 years, and I think last year maybe they put this clause in there, so we need to get your approval.
On the council.
Well, we need to point out what is different, the reason it's coming to you guys. We've been using this for a long time. We've had an agreement with them for a very, very long time. But Ms. Hamacali identified an issue within the contract that we have to have your approval to allow the mayor to sign.
It just limits the liability, which goes against our contract management or administration policy. And you have approved this in the past for other departments. It just requires council approval. Neither Chief Bandy nor I can approve that. It is just it's a software type program that he's needing, and I don't have a major issue with it. I just can't approve it on my own, and nor can Chief Bandy. So we're asking for your approval.
Gotcha. Motion to send it on.
Motion by Councilman Carter, second by Councilman Juvance. Any questions, any discussion? All in favor of sending forward resolution R2509-57, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Does move forward unanimously. Moves now to other business. Any member of the body have any other business? Councilman Carter, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. So I just want to acknowledge that I was contacted this week by a couple of pastors in my community regarding the liquor store project. So I did speak with Pastor Sean Cook from Key Stewart Church and Pastor Tyson from St. Luke AME Church, and I just wanted to acknowledge that neither of them were contacted about the liquor store project. and neither of them are in support of that, as well as their congregations. So I know that at some point, a comment was made about contacting churches and pastors, but they are not on board with that. And I did want to put that out there for everybody to know. They were not in support. We talked at length about that. So thank you, guys.
Councilman Carter, any other business, anyone? Okay, seeing none, any department heads with reports this evening? Mr. Rose.
Thank you again. I'm going to preface this just with a thank you for your vote a couple of weeks ago to give permission to bring forward the moratorium discussion through Planning Commission. After having a conversation with the Planning Commission at actually a couple of different Planning Commission meetings, we've decided to no longer pursue the action for a moratorium on a rezoning. The discussion last night and previously with the Planning Commission did highlight for us multiple potential negative effects that we would have that would be a result of enacting a moratorium and some of the angst that might come along with that. I want to help us avoid having angst, especially between Planning Commission and City Council as we go forward toward adopting a new zoning ordinance. And I'd rather that be the focus of what everyone looks at and not on a potential negative that the word moratorium brings and what that may imply for our development community as well. We do have another way of dealing with, potential conflicts that will arise with zoning property after the fact. It's pretty simple. It's just a matter of having to update the zoning map after the fact and then having a set of how does something convert, a converting factor from whatever zone they're asking for to the new scheme of zoning districts within the city. So respectfully, I'm pulling that request and just wanted to update you on that. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Councilman Jones.
Yeah, we voted to send it to planning to go through the normal process, so we voted for that. The same way that the reasoning will go to planning, that's what we got told. So that need to go through the process, keep going through the process because we voted on that. And that need to come back from the planning to us and we'll vote on what the planning said. But that's how that was presented to us, as the same process and a reasoning. We don't stop reasoning in the middle of the planning. And I heard the piece. I haven't listened to everything because I was busy, but I heard the piece, and what I heard was the same thing I heard during the Plan Gallatin, when the change of character area was sent back, where some person of the planning were really animated about not doing what was asked of them. And at one point, I'm wondering if that's anything to do with the job, because you came to us with that idea. It was a great idea. You thought about it. That was not an overnight presentation. You thought about it for months. And I think we have a process. If we voted to send it there, that need to come back to us.
I think the discussion, when we discussed this earlier, the thought was that this was Mr. Rose's ask of this body, and after the discussion and thinking through things with the Planning Commission last night, it became a bit apparent that we were going to be discussing enacting when, where, and how, when and how, and for what length of time to enact a moratorium would take as long as actually working on the zoning code together, and we felt like we were going to spend so much time and energy figuring out if that was right, plus the fact that it already created some confusion, because some people were viewing it as a moratorium on building versus just the moratorium on rezoning, and then there were some concerns from the community that were like, look, I've got property under development, I'm trying to attract commercial investors, and they're hearing that we're putting a moratorium in. I'm like, no, it's a moratorium on rezoning, and instead of just the moratorium has a very, very negative connotation. And so that was kind of the discussion last night. And then Mr. Rose said, I think I just want to well, I'm not going to speak for you, but I mean, it was an ask from the planning director. It came to this body, Ms. McCauley discussed how it should happen. It went to the planning commission, they discussed it, and then Mr. Rose said that he thinks he would like to withdraw.
And honestly, the way I took the previous vote was that was granting me permission, not a directive from the council. You know, I felt like it was me asking, not the council saying, hey, go do this. But, I mean, that's in your hands, but.
Legal?
I will be honest, I have not gone back and listened to exactly what the vote was. I don't know if Mr. Rose did that. I have not done that today.
I didn't go back and listen to it to ascertain the actual language.
The motion.
But that was my understanding of it, so if you want, I can go back and review that.
And I can as well. And if it was a directive, I do think you should follow through at planning. If it was permission, you and I can talk about that. But if it was a directive from council to do that, then I think you should take it through planning. The problem is we don't have an ordinance drafted.
Right, it would have been a directive at his request, like direct me to do something, or don't direct.
I mean, it was, I believe at the end, I just was asking for a vote to get your permission to go through the process. And so I believe that's how I had phrased it, but.
And that's what we voted on, so we have to go through the process. And that go through planning, that come back to this body, and we vote again on it. That's how that should be done.
Appreciate your opinion. Anyone else have any questions or discussion about it?
I'll get with you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to call in Mr. Rose for review and let us know if there is something that they think is pertinent to consider related to that. Any other department heads this evening that have reports? Seeing none, we have another item.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. There's a second by Councilman Carter, motion by Councilman Jones. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Does pass unanimously. Everyone have a lovely evening. Oh, don't leave yet because we need to do the Happy Birthday Nashville PBS.
Yes, we do.